Hi everyone, welcome to session 4. Session 4 we'll be looking at how did historians classify. Historians have usually divided Indian history into ancient, medieval and modern. This division too has its problem. It is a periodization that is borrowed from the West, where the modern period was associated with the growth of all the forces of modernity like science, reason, democracy, liberty and equality. Now, in the previous session, we discussed about James' classification of Indian history basing on religions like Hindu, Muslim and the British. But the historians have divided the Indian history into ancient, medieval and modern periods. But there are problems for this division also. Why? Because due to this division, it is not applicable to the Eastern societies much. My point is, as we divided the history into ancient, medieval and modern basing on the Western philosophies, because there the forces of modernity like science, reason, democracy, liberty and equality have shown their paths to lead towards modernity. But when it comes to the features of the Eastern societies, they were not as equally as that of the Western societies in the form of radical views or in the form of government liberalization views. Medieval was a term which is used to describe a society where the features of modern society did not exist. So these are the problems what we have faced or what we can interpret from the Western periodization of Indian history. We also have, can we uncritically accept the characterizations of the modern period to describe the period of our study? Under the British rule, people did not have equality, freedom or liberty, nor was the period one of the economic growth and progress. So during the British rule, Indians were not given any kind of treatment which can be called as equality or freedom or liberty, nor any kind of steps taken by the British governing bodies to encourage economic growth and progress. Many historians therefore refer to this period as colonial. Now, what is colonial? Colonial. What is colonial? We will read about the way the British came to conquer the country and establish their rule, subjugating local Nawabs and Rajas. So in the colonial history of India, in grade 8, we will be looking at how did the Britishers enter into India, what was their initial phase of occupation, how did they emerge as the leaders of the land, how did they subjugate the local Nawabs and the Rajas. We will also see how they established control over the economy and society, collected revenue to meet all their expenses, brought the goods they wanted at low prices and produced crops that needed for export. We will also come to know about the changes British rule brought about in values, tastes, customs and practices. So what is colonial now? The subjugation of one country by another leads to this kind of political, economic, social and cultural changes. This is referred as the process of colonialization or colonial system. What is the meaning of subjugation? The word which is being repeated continuously. Subjugation means to defeat and gain control by force. So, let us now do the recap of what we learned in this session. First, we looked at the classification done by the modern historians. Then we tried to identify what are the problems that we had with that. Later, we tried to accept uncritically the characterization of the modern period. What are the obstacles that we have? Then we moved on to find out what is colonial and what changed during the British rule in our country and what is the meaning of subjugation. These are the points discussed in this session. Stay tuned. We'll catch you in the next session.